I'm not okay. It says, are unsaved Jews in hell? Um, this is a tough one because you almost lay yourself a trap with this, because then
Yeah.
you're passing judgment. And what I can say is this: Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but by me." We know that very clear. Now, were Jews saved before Christ, before he came? Yeah, because they were looking forward to that promise of the Messiah. That's how they got saved, because he is the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but by him. And so that's how Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all of the Israelites, those that were of the faith, got saved in their day. They looked forward towards the promise of the Messiah because they have to come through the Son. The Psalm says, I think it's Psalm 2, kiss the Son. You have to come through the Son. No surprise. They didn't know it was Jesus back then. So now we ask the question about Jews today. Are they unsaved? Are they in hell? Again, I can't make that judgment because the judgment's only been given to the Son. The same way I can't judge Ozzy Osbourne, I can't judge an unsaved Jew. Well, I can judge if a Jew is unsaved, then yes, they are in hell. But the point is, how do I know if they're unsaved? Now, if they did not obey the gospel, if they rejected, if they flat out rejected and said, nope, Jesus is not the Son of God, yes, they are in hell. That's clear. You have to accept the Son. But what if they were a Jew? And I'm just posing this as a hypothetical because, again, I don't like to take the seat of the judge. I'm not the judge. What if you had a Jew that all their life was a good person, as far as the Bible taught them to be a good person as best they could, moral, like Paul says, even those that, that don't have the law can live according to the law. Well, how much more a Jew that does have the law can try to live to be a moral person, not because they think it makes them any better. Maybe they think, hey, I'm a sinner, but this is what God told me to do. This is good. This is right. And one day he's going to send a Messiah to deliver me. What if that's a modern day Jew and they never heard the gospel about Jesus? Or what if they heard a different gospel that they didn't? They're like, the Jesus that led all those crusaders over there to go and, run the crusades. I don't believe in that Jesus, or that Jesus that, Hitler believed in. I don't believe in that Jesus. That's a different Jesus than the true Jesus, by the way. Okay. So what if they never really heard the gospel and they heard Jesus in name only, but they didn't really hear it? Is it possible that Jesus could show them some mercy and say, hey, you lived the way I wanted you to live, looking forward to me your whole life, but you never got to meet me. Again, those last 10 seconds of your life can be an eternity if you have a vision of the risen Lord. I don't know. I'm not saying he does that, but I'm not saying he doesn't either. So I'm just not going to be the judge on that. I'm just throwing out hypotheticals to say he is the way, he is the truth, he is the life. No man comes to the Father but by him. If there is a Jew in this age that is saved, it has to be through him some way or another. I know he made a way for them to be saved in the Old Testament before he came to die on the cross. And he is sovereign, so he can make a way for anyone he wants to make a way for. The question is, does he? I don't know. All I know is this: if you're listening now, if you're Jewish, he is your Messiah. He is the way, the truth, and the life. No matter what anybody's told you, no matter what the rabbis have said about him, he cares for you. He loves you. He loved you enough to die on the cross. If you have any questions, you feel free, please. If you are Jewish and you're listening right now, I have been told by an Orthodox rabbi who circumcised my son when he was 8 days old, not because I'm a legalist, but because I'm obedient to God's word. And I wanted to do what God wanted me to do because I was so blessed that he gave me a son. And I had an Orthodox rabbi over to my house, and he told me, he says, you're more Jewish than most Jews I know. So if you are a Jew and you're listening right now and you have questions about Yeshua, the one we as Christians call Jesus,
Come on.
I invite you. Engage with me. Write me in my comments. You can write me in my email, BibleStudyWithDerek@gmail.com. I don't put that out there too often because I get a lot of emails, and I don't need a lot more, to be honest with you. I get a lot that I have barely time to respond to. But if you're a Jew and you want to talk about Yeshua and your doubts, and you want to ask me how I can assure you he is your Messiah, I'm all ears. I'm all yours. Come on, that's all I can tell you. If you don't believe in him, you will be in hell. He is the way, the truth, and the life. But I'm not going to judge because only he can make that judgment. So I hope that's a good enough answer. I know it was a little bit of a